Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Over the past year, not many local businesses have had the chance to operate as normal, but upper level pottery and art gallery is changing that. Our Jasmine King reports.
Thursday night at Upper Level Pottery in Vermilion will be full of music and colorful art pieces as they will be welcoming Dave McCann, a Canadian artist with help from the Vermilion Folk Club, and he will be holding a concert and an art exhibition.
It's mixed media art, and he brings natural elements in. I think he uses wheat and other parts. It's nice that he can travel around to our smaller communities and share his music.
Over the course of the past 15 months, art galleries haven't got the chance to operate as normal. Now with restrictions lifted, they can finally start to host events.
This was in our original plan from the start of the gallery opening, and then COVID just squashed our ideas for a little while, and now we are able to do it. So it's very exciting that we're able to have our first event now. It's been almost a year since we opened, so it's time to do something fun.
Upper Level Pottery is hoping this is the start of more events to come to Vermilion. The event runs from 7 to 9 Thursday night, and tickets are almost gone.
Tickets you can email upperlevelgallery@gmail.com. We're almost sold out. We have limited space here, so limited tickets, but we do have a couple extras that are available.
Visit the Upper Level Pottery and Art Gallery's Facebook page for more information. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
A fun new store has been added to the border city for anybody interested in gaming or sports memorabilia. It's called Babs Gaming and Sports Cards, and they're able to get this store up and running in 1 month.
Today, I'm speaking with Mitch Laponze with Babs Gaming and Sports Cards. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, when did this store open up here in the border city?
Our opening day was actually July 9th, so it's still pretty fresh.
Could you expand on what's all involved with the store and what items you offer?
Yeah, so it's kind of a half and half store. So there's the modern arcade side, where you can rent out by the hour and come and play on our new Xboxes, our PlayStation 4, our Nintendo Switch. We have 2 gaming PCs to play on as well. And then there is a big theater room that we rent out for parties or just for whatever by the hour as well. And then there's the sports memorabilia and sports cards section as well. We're an authorized frame earth dealer. We are an authorized upper deck dealer for hobbyists who like the hobby boxes for the cards. We've got Pokemon cards, we got Yu-Gi-Oh, we got Digimon, Magic the Gathering, bunch of plushies, Funko Pops, puzzles, little knickknacks. We've got quite a bit here.
How long was the store in the works of finally getting it open here in Lloydminster?
So we actually got possession June 1st. So it was quite quick to get it open in a month. We did a lot of renovations. We had to mount about 6 TVs to the wall. We had to get the projector figured out, the theater room figured out. We got the carpet in there done, the flooring done. So it was quite a bit and quite a big rush to get it open for July.
Since the store has opened, how has support been so far from community members?
You know what? It picked up quite quickly, and we're noticing a lot of people coming in saying, "Hey, I heard my friend was in here," or my family member said they were in here, and I just wanted to come check it out. So it's quite rapidly getting the word out there.
You're saying before that Babs Gaming also offers an arcade. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So on the arcade, when you come in, it's just by the hour. I guess by the half hour, we just charge by the hour, but you can come in half-hour increments. So you get yourself your own TV, or you get a 50-inch TV. It's got special lighting in the back that lights up, and then we got a library of games, over 80-some games on every single console. If you want to come in with friends, you can squat up and play together. If you're into Fortnite or Warzone or whatever have you, you can play together. You get a cool X-Rocker gaming chair to sit in that has built-in speakers, and they light up as well. The Nintendo Switch is a couch corner. So perfect for families if they want to come and play some Mario Kart or Super Smash Brothers or Mario Golf. They can all play together all in one couch. The theater room itself has 8 seats, so it sits 8 people comfortably. It has 4 of the new gen consoles hooked up to it, so I can have 4 different screens actually running all at once on a big 175-inch projector, 4K. And yeah, it's pretty simple. You can play video games.
I was seeing online how the store was offering prizes and involved in lots of draws right now. Is the store involved in any special fundraisers that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, so the current draw or current thing we have going on right now is our mystery boxes. So you get a signed authenticated jersey from Frameworth. The box itself is $320 of every box sold goes to Kidsport Lloydminster. So that's our first fundraiser right now. And in the future, we'll probably just pick a different organization to go with and just keep this mystery box thing going because it's picking up pretty quickly. We started with 37 when we first started the mystery box, and we're already down to 19, and we haven't even been open a month. So they are going pretty quick. There's still some pretty good jerseys in there too. Like there's still a signed, authenticated McDavid jersey, a Crosby. There's Nathan McKinnon. So there's still quite a few big jerseys in there to pull.
Now, is there anything else you want to add for residents to know about for the new store and everything that you have to offer?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess a lot of people are concerned with local that, stuff is like more expensive and different priced from like Walmart or Best Buy, but all of our consoles and all of our Funko Pops and cards and everything is the same price. So you get that support local feel with the same pricing. You don't have to overpay for anything. And yeah, it's just drop-in gaming too. You don't have to book. You can just come drop in and play.
Perfect. Well, for everybody watching, make sure you go down and check out Babs Gaming and Sports Card, the new store here in Lloydminster. Thank you so much for joining me today, Mitch.
Yes, thank you.
Now here's our Jasmine King with a first look at your weather forecast. Thanks, Shelby. Taking a first look at our current conditions here in the border city, we are sitting at 25 degrees, so we didn't see too much sun today, but it was still warm when we went outside, and the wind hasn't been too strong, but it did seem to clear up the smoke just a bit. But as we look right now around the region, we are seeing pretty similar degrees throughout. 25 in Lloydminster, as I mentioned, as well as Pierceland and Vermilion, and Provost and Macklin are all at 27 degrees. Vegreville is up at 30, which is one of our only 30-degree temperatures that we are seeing around the region. And as we look over at the Saskatchewan side, they are in that 26 to 25 range pretty much throughout. Meadow Lake and St. Walburg are at 24, and Isle of Cross is down at 22 degrees, which is still pretty warm. But as we look at our satellite radar, we can see there was a little bit of activity going through the Saskatchewan side of the region, going in that Pierceland and Green Lake and Meadow Lake area. So we might see that continue on later into the evening, but we didn't see much rain here in the border city today or this morning. But as we look at North Battleford, currently they are at 26 degrees, and overnight they will be getting down to 13, but tomorrow they will be nice at 30 degrees. So if you want to spend some time outside, tomorrow might be the day to do so. And as we look at Cold Lake, they are also at 26 and getting to 15 overnight, but tomorrow getting up to 29. So up in that area, we will be seeing a lot of warmer temperatures. But as we look at overnight across more temperatures in the region, Meadow Lake will be at one of the coldest, getting down to 11 degrees, but Unity and Provost will both see some rain, and Provost might even see some thunder showers, but it's mainly going to be a cloudy night, but still warm out. But as we look at your 3-day forecast here in Lloydminster, 30 degrees tomorrow here as well for our high, so it'll be a nice and sunny day. But Friday we will see that chance of a thunderstorm and some rain, but getting up to 32 degrees, so that might be the warmest temperature that we will see this week. And Saturday we'll be getting down to 22 with that mix of sun and cloud. That is a look at your 3-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break. Welcome back. Local runner Pam Rolheiser broke her leg while training to complete a triathlon to raise money for the Canadian Cancer Society. Jace Mackey has more on how she's adapting this year's fundraiser.
I'm continuing my conversation now with Pam Rolheiser, who's going to be taking part in the Try One for Life cancer fundraiser. Now, a triathlon is hard enough as it is, and Pam, you're going to be doing it basically on one foot. Can you tell me what's going to be different this year after you faced your setback?
The first thing is the swim, and I've set my, instead of doing what I did last year and saying, okay, we'll increase in distance, I just set a distance. And there's two reasons behind it. Number one, the time on it. This running a sprint distance triathlon, which is what I've committed to doing, is actually going to take me almost as much time as it took me to do an Olympic last year, just because of the handicap, basically. And the other thing was just physically, I have to kind of look at what is sort of safe for me to do. And there's the ending run I've actually not accomplished yet. But I know that day I will accomplish it. So yeah, we'll start out with a 750 meter swim. And for that, what I'll use is a swim buoy, which it's just like a flotation device. You put it between your legs and then it floats your hips so that you can do upper body only. So I'll be doing the freestyle for 750 meters, upper body only. And then I'll get out and I'll get the air boot back on. And then just outside of the pool at Bioclean Aquatic Center, we'll have my bike set up on the trainer. I'm going to get out there and bike 20 kilometers on the bike. I'll be using sensors on the bike and my sports watch to track that 20 kilometers. And then is the part that, as I say, I've never accomplished this. I'm going to do 5 kilometers on crutches. I've done 2.5 now, and it hurts. It hurts by that point. And I know that after doing the bike as well, it's going to be really hard on that right leg. But I'm going to do it. One thing that I've said is through this whole thing, I've been so inspired by people that are fighting cancer. They are what has made this whole thing happen for me, and they are what will help get me through that day. So many of those people, they live in pain, both emotionally and physically, every day that they are fighting cancer. Their families do. So it's just, I know it's going to be one of those things that I'm going to use that strength from them to get through.
For people who are interested in donating, how are they able to do that, and where can people get more information?
The one way to donate online is at Try One for Life. It's on Facebook is the easiest way to track it. So it's TRI for triathlon. So TRI, the number 1, and then 4, FOR Life. And it's a fundraiser for the Canadian Cancer Society. So if you're on Facebook, you can check there, or you can search my name, Pam Rolheiser, and you'll find me through there. And then there's a link there where you can get into the Try One for Life page. If you go onto the Canadian Cancer Society, you can search it up as well. The link that's on there is very, very long, actually. So it's probably easier to just search it up, the Try One for Life. They could give me a call if they'd like. My phone number is again on the Facebook page there. So that day, which is the day that I'm doing the event, Monday, August the 9th. So next Monday, I'm going to kick off the swim at 5:30. We will have a table set up that day where we can accept cash donations or help you make a donation online as well.
And what else will be happening on the 9th while you do this?
So that day at the table, my daughter's going to be sitting there with a couple of friends, and my parents will probably be there. We're going to have one lady, Adrienne Christofferson, who's going to be doing minor bike repairs. If you make a donation, she'll do some minor bike repairs for you. We have a really neat thing, I think. I've been a taste tester for a company out of Edmonton called 7 Summit Snacks, and they make endurance and everyday chocolate bars. So they're meant for athletes mainly, but the everyday bars, of course, for everybody. But they have donated for me a bunch of samples that we're going to have out as taste testers, and then we're also going to have a draw box there for some of their product. So if you love chocolate, who doesn't, right? Come on out and give that a taste. My son, he has decided that this year he wants to do a run, in honor of this. So at 6 o'clock, there's going to be a run group that takes off. And if you want to come and join that run group, just come out in front of BioClean Aquatic Center and join into that group at 6 o'clock. I also hope just anybody wants to come out and cheer me on, cheer any of us on, walk with me, especially on that crutch part. That would be awesome to have lots of people come out and cheer us on and support us.
And this is all taking place at Bud Miller outside of the BioClean Aquatic Center?
That's correct, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Pam, for taking some time to talk with me. And this is super exciting. I wish you the best of luck.
Welcome back. Viterra and Kids Sport Saskatchewan have teamed up to help bring kids back to sport. The grain company will be matching donations up to $5,000 for children in local communities. Jillian Code has more.
Today, I'm joined by Jen Peterson. She is the Kids Sports Saskatchewan Provincial Coordinator. Jen, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So we know a lot of things were impacted by the pandemic, and kids sports is definitely one of them. How exactly did kids sport cope during the pandemic?
In 2020, all our annual fundraisers across the province were postponed. So all our major fundraising was canceled and then restarted again this year, which we had to adjust a little bit in the beginning half of the year for virtual events. And then in the later half here, we're planning for in-person again. So a lot of our fundraisers didn't go on for supporting those local chapters, as well as sport in itself. The programs just weren't running, and so kids didn't have the opportunity to participate if they wanted to. So it's nice to see that sports returning. We're hopeful to get many more kids back into it.
I'm sure a great way to kickstart that is through this partnership with Viterra. So what can you tell me about this?
Yeah, so Viterra has been a supporter of kids sport for many years. And with our fundraisers being postponed over the last year and a half, they reached out to us just asking, how can we help support kids sport through this time, knowing that the funds weren't coming in. And so one thing we just had mentioned was, this summer we're going to be trying to make a push for back to sport. For those who are comfortable to get back into sport in those programs that are reopening. So they had offered to give us $5,000 and are going to match any donations coming into kids sport up to $5,000. So any dollars that are raised at a local community will stay in that community that there is a kids sport chapter in.
And if people are interested in donating or participating in this, how would they go about doing so?
The best way is just to go on to our website at kidsportsas.ca to donate online. You get a tax receipt for anything over $20 automatically right away. And yeah, the unique thing I think about kids sport is 100% of the donations go directly to the kids. So no admin costs or overhead costs are coming from donations coming in. 100% of that goes directly to the registration fees for low-income families, and then Viterra is going to double that donation.
And kids sport doesn't necessarily put on the programming. It's more you guys cover the fees that are already there for kids sports.
Yeah, we just help cover the cost for registration fees for the programs that are already established through sport organizations.
And so if a family is looking for financial support when they're enrolling their kids in sports, how can they reach out to you guys?
They can go online, again, at our kidsportsas.ca. There's an online application form, as well as a paper application form if they wish to submit via paper. And the application submission contact information is on there. So if they are based out of Lloyd, they'll apply to Kids Sport Lloydminster. If they're placed in a community that doesn't have a local Kids Sport chapter, they would apply through our provincial fund, and that's all outlined on our website. So they can, either apply online or apply via paper application.
Those are the questions that I had. Are there any other aspects of this that you think we should touch on?
No, maybe just a point would be like how important the social and physical mental recovery from the pandemic will be, and trying to use sport as that tool to help kids with that recovery.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jen, for joining me today.
Thank you, Jill.
Now here are your agricultural prices for today. Lloydminster Bobcats have added to their coaching staff for the 2021 AJHL season. The new coach brings 4 years of junior coaching experience from across Western Canada. And as Evan Kenny breaks down, his love for the game is something Bobcats fans will love.
Well, the AJHL offseason is for teams to improve, and the Lloydminster Bobcats did just that. They recently hired new assistant coach Carter Duffin to the coaching staff. Joining me today to break this down is Nigel Dubé. Now, Nigel, just starting things off, tell us a little bit about Carter as a coach.
Well, it goes back to, I met Carter along the way at a hockey rink, back in when the U18s were in Edmonton. We had a conversation there and, following his path. And obviously he had a desire and a passion for hockey. Just in our conversation, you could tell that he was very knowledgeable and obviously always wanted to learn about the game and put himself in those positions to go to. So those are big things. And I think when it comes to coaching, calm, cool, and a coach that players are going to be able to relate to, and have those trustworthy conversations, as well as he'll be able to pass on his knowledge to him on the ice and off the ice as well.
Now, Nigel, the team was looking for a new assistant coach for a number of months here. I guess just what did Carter do that set him apart from the rest of the pack?
Yeah, we had coaches from all over, really. It was amazing to see the different, resumes that had came in and from local to everywhere, to look at those. And I think when you take Carter's resume of what he's done and where he's been, going from Manitoba to Estevan, a big part of their run there, to the SJ final, and then having that experience, and then being the head coach and GM in Castlegar for 3 years. And he had actually just signed his extension there, but in reaching out to him, just wanted to see what that was. And I think, again, it comes back to a lot about his trustworthiness, his passion for it, and his ability to communicate, with staff and digging into more with references. I think that was a big part of it. So we got a full package with him, and I think there's growth in that too as well. And then we're excited to have him here in the Border City.
And Nigel, obviously you brought up the Estevan Bruins. They made it to the SJHL final a number of years ago, their 2017-18 season, but as well the year before that, when he was an assistant coach in the MJHL, his team also made it to the playoffs that season. Now, having a coach already have that playoff experience at the junior A level, just how big is that hiring him?
Well, those are big experiences. And I think, you look at that one and you look at Estevan, the year that they went through a lot of adversity with what happened that calendar year and in that league, and those are big parts that teach you a lot. They teach you a lot as a coach. They teach you a lot as a player. They teach you a lot as on the managerial side of things too, as well. So those are experiences that we're excited to have in our organization. I think those are conversations that will help along the way when we have discussions of what worked there. And as we continue to climb the ladder here in Lloydminster, you look at, the foundation that we talked about, Evan, which seemed like years and years ago. We're going into that third year with the COVID year in between. And we've continued to build on the ice. We've continued to build off the ice in the community. And he's another pillar that's, more than welcome in our organization and going to continue with our growth here.
And finally, Nigel, what will people be seeing behind the bench? What kind of coach is he? I guess, is he a defensive-minded, offensive-minded, X and O's kind of guy? Where does his expertise lie?
Attention to detail is a big part in our conversations and what he, sent over as part of what would be a systematical resume of what he was able to do there and as well of his video work. Those are big things. And with technology now being such a big part of our game and being able to compare clips from the NHL, the World Juniors, the Olympics, whatever it may be to our players and show it at that level and then take that and break it down with the new software that's came out in the last year. It's amazing. And for us to be able to send that to our players is huge. And I think that's a big part of it. And just the attention detail, I think that's a big part. We like to be organized here. It goes a long way with success. And he has that. And that'll definitely add to it.
Well, Nigel, thank you very much for taking this time and joining me. I look forward to seeing yourself and Carter Duffin behind the bench this upcoming fall.
Here's our Jasmine King with another look at your weather forecast. Thanks, Shelby. Taking a look at your weather forecast once again, we are looking at temperatures currently around the region. We are still at 25 degrees here in Lloydminster, but as we look on the Alberta side, they are pretty warm up there, almost at 30. A couple of the cities at 27, Athabasca and Edmonton, as well as Edson, and in Jasper and Red Deer at 29 degrees. And looking over at the Saskatchewan side, we can see they are a little bit colder. Melfort and Prince Albert are at 21, where Saskatoon is at 24, and North Battleford and Meadow Lake are both at 26 degrees. And looking up at the northern parts of the provinces, we can see again Saskatchewan is a little bit colder than the Alberta side, sitting at 19 in Wollaston Lake and South End and La Ronge. Flin Flon down at 18, as well as Stony Rapids getting down at 15 degrees. And we can see Grand Prairie is at 30, Fort Chipewyan is a bit colder at 18 degrees, and Slave Lake 24, as well as Peace River is at 27 degrees. And as we look at the southern parts of both of the provinces, we can see that they are actually around the same as we are seeing in the north, with Medicine Hat at 29, as well as Swift Current, Coronation and Kindersley are at 28, and Banff is at 25, where Calgary and Lethbridge are at 27 degrees. Estevan is at 28, and Regina is at 21, and Yorkton is down at 20. But as we look at your national forecast, we can see that St. John's is currently at 21 degrees, and Iqaluit's up at 7, so they are a little bit colder than we are seeing around most of the country. Yellowknife is at 14, so up in the territories, they are seeing a bit of colder weather. 25 in Quebec City, 27 in Toronto, and 26 in Winnipeg. And Vancouver is at 24 degrees, so not as hot as we are here, but still seeing some nice temperatures. But as we look tomorrow around the region, most of the area is going to be in that 30-degree range, including here in the border city, as well as Marwayne, Pearson, and Maidstone. Provost and Macklin are at 32, and Vermilion and Wainwright are sitting at 31. And as we look at the Saskatchewan side, they are also seeing those 30-degree temperatures, where Meadow Lake and St. Walburg are at 30, as well as North Battleford. So it is a nice change that what we did see. We are getting those 30-degree temperatures, which might be a bit of a high for what we will see for this week and going into the weekend. But speaking of the weekend, looking at the 7-day forecast, Thursday will be at 30 degrees, but at the weekend, they will be getting colder. So Friday and Thursday might be our warmest days of the week. Saturday is down at 22 and 16. We are getting back into those teens on Sunday with that mix of sun and cloud. Monday is showing that sunny and cloud mix at 20. And then Tuesday and Wednesday of next week is when we will see temperatures begin to pick up again. 23 on Tuesday and 25 on Wednesday, seeing that mix of sun and clouds. So we are a bit above our averages right now, but as we head into the start of next week, we will be around that 24-degree range, and our average low is at 11. But that is a look at your 7-day forecast, and we'll have more news after the break.
Stephanie Dobson is back with us this week. Stephanie is a local lawyer and mediator here in Lloydminster at Hankin Divorce Law and Mediation. And today, Stephanie, we are going to be talking about using technology in the process of divorce and mediation. So this is something that with COVID, obviously a lot of, not just law firms, but a lot of businesses have switched to doing things online or over Zoom, that sort of a thing. So how has that technology impacted the divorce and separation process?
Well, it's really quite amazing to consider that through your divorce process, you may never actually need to meet with me in person, whether I'm your lawyer or your mediator. From things like conducting meetings by Zoom, to submitting your documents electronically, to remotely signing things, or even filing court documents by email these days. The divorce process can occur without even ever having to meet your lawyer in person. The technology that I use all existed prior to COVID, so this isn't new technology necessarily. It's just the implementation of the technology that has become so normal throughout the COVID pandemic.
So what do the clients think when they are talking to you and they find out that, you know, most of the relationship with you can be remote based?
Well, from the very first moment that we speak with our clients, a lot of people will contact us initially either by phone or they'll submit their web form to get in touch with us. And we really tell them right from the get-go that we'll be using Zoom for our meetings. and we normalize it from them right from the beginning. In the past, I'd say 6 to 8 months or so, there's lots of clients that are coming to me from all over Alberta and all over Saskatchewan. And so for those more remote or geographically distant clients, it's really handy for them to be able to do everything by Zoom, and thinking about never really having to leave the comfort of your own home or not having to take much time off of work to be able to meet with us is huge for them.
What happens, Stephanie, if these people are not technology savvy? Because not everybody is good with technology, and even though some of it is simple, some people just don't like to deal with technology. So what if that's the case?
Well, you're absolutely right, Stacey, and we do try to meet our clients where they're at in their life. Divorce is a very difficult time in most people's lives, and so we don't want to add extra stress by having them have to adapt to technology. But what I can say about that, though, is everything that we use is very simple. So there's 3 things I want to focus on here. So the first thing is Zoom meetings. So we've tried lots of different platforms for video conferencing, and we found that Zoom is the easiest platform. For all of our clients, we send them the link well ahead of their meeting date. They have 1 click to get onto the meeting, and everything is automatic. It automatically downloads the Zoom application, and they can even practice with our staff at our office to actually get onto the meeting if they're having trouble. Second, we use texting. So we have, through our phone system, we have the ability to text with clients, and it makes it so easy for them if they're trying to schedule appointments or trying to get their ID to us, or some administrative items, and they don't have to stop what they're doing to take a phone call from us or be checking their email. And the third thing that we do is we use technology to help with the document delivery. As you can imagine, there's tons of documents that clients are going to have to send to us. There are still some clients who bring us in that banker's box of documents, but we really do try to help them to submit everything to us electronically. We either, by email, by USB stick, but most of our clients are using our client portal, and they just love that. They don't have to worry about email attachments or remembering who to send things to, because the notifications on our end come in automatically. So everything is really easy, and we do cheat sheets to make sure that the technology is not an impediment to or more of a stressor to their divorce process. We really just want to make it comfortable for them and easy.
And now that the restrictions are being lifted for most provinces and for most businesses, what happens then with this practice? Are you going to keep offering the remote sessions if people want them?
Well, actually, it's more so, are we going to ever go back to in person? And for me, I don't know if we ever really will. Our services are so geographically distant as to where our clients are drawn from. And most clients are asking to keep things remote and the convenience of it. And so, of course, if people want to go back to in person, I certainly won't say no, but I try to schedule it on days that, on certain days where I know I'm going to have lots of in-person meetings or things like that. Most of our clients are willing to adapt to that remote service delivery, and they are asking for it.
All right, Stephanie, well, thank you so much for joining us again this week. And one point I think I'd like to make just with all of this is that because of the fact you can deal remotely, this means then that people from, they don't have to be from Lloydminster and area, they can be from further away, and you can still help them with their cases. Is that correct?
Yes, interestingly, we have clients from all over both Alberta and Saskatchewan. So, 2, 3, 4 hours away, some clients will be calling us, and literally, because we don't have to be in person, it allows me to use my skill set, which is, about helping families to thrive, helping families to divorce in a positive and in a different way than you would traditionally think about divorce. So that skill set is being requested more and more, and it's being requested from more distant places. So I'm happy to help.
All right, Stephanie, well, once again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll speak to you again next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Stacey.
Well, joining us today here on Primetime Local News is Vancouver artist Rain, and she's coming off her new EP called False Love. Rain, first off, congratulations on the new EP. Take us through some of those creative stages of the direction and some of the songs for this album.
First of all, thank you. I just started writing, to be honest. Like, there's one song on the EP that was one of like the first songs that I'd ever like co-written with people, and I really like having that on there just as kind of like to show like my progression as an artist. That one's scar tissue, by the way. I think creating the EP, I just wanted to like write, and like when I first started, as I said, like I hadn't really done much co-writing before, and I hadn't really been in like a proper studio before. So I think like through writing it, I just wanted to like figure out who I was as an artist and just like create music and see what I could do, and you know, like learn everything that I possibly could. And so I think generally like the whole being of the EP is just about like growth for me. A lot of the songs like are about fake relationships, I like to say. So that's why it's called False Love, because it's like not real in some sense.
When you were in those stages in your career of finding your sound and how you wanted your songs to be produced, was there a turning point specifically for you that ultimately led to the way that your music is now?
I don't really know. Like when I first started writing the EP, I was very inspired by artists like Dua Lipa and like Doja Cat and like doing this kind of like pop thing. And more recently, with some of the more like recently written tracks, Is It Cool for Lonely and Nothing to Bleed For, I'm kind of veering into more of a dark pop kind of sound, and I really see myself going in that direction. I think like I said, with the growth, right, of just like figuring out what I want to sound like and the music that I want to create, and I definitely see myself continuing down that like dark pop direction, but it was just like getting there that was the exploration point for me, I guess.
When COVID did hit, how much of your EP was fully completed, and what was something that you took away from all that downtime to learn about yourself personally?
Unfortunately, several of these songs were done pre-COVID, because it's been so long. Like I sat on music for a really long time, just with my past manager like wanted me to do that, so don't know why. But now we're getting to release stuff, and COVID was hard, especially at the beginning, because like there's no performances. Like before COVID happened, I was starting to like get performances as Rain. Before that, I'd always performed like acoustically by myself in like bars and restaurants and stuff. And I was finally getting to like perform my own music with my band. And then everything was shut down. And so I never really got to continue doing that or explore that. So I'm gonna have to like relearn how to perform, I guess. But yeah, I think mainly like performance was a really hard thing with COVID, and like making money performing. And also like writing is very different now. In some ways, I think it's better because like before COVID, if someone was in London and you were in Vancouver, you just wouldn't write together. You'd be like, well, maybe one day I'll go to London and we can write together. But now I think it's become a lot more accessible to like write over Zoom. And so everyone does it. And now people are a lot more okay like writing with people all around the world and not needing to be in person, which I really like.
With those partners you had co-writing with this album, and I know you mentioned that you write a lot of your own music like many independent artists do. Was that a bit of an adjustment period for you, having people to co-write with because you're so used to doing everything on your own?
There was, because for so long I would just write songs and I'd give up halfway through, because I am very much like, if I can't figure something out right away, I'm like, ugh, whatever. I can't focus on things for very long, and that's just like who I am. And so I really like with co-writing is there's accountability that you have to finish a song and you have a certain amount of time to do it. But I think there was kind of like a learning period of like, oh, what if this is a bad idea? Because like you're just kind of sharing ideas like in an open space. You guys are all just like throwing out concepts and lyrics, and sometimes they suck, and that's just life. But it was very nerve-wracking when I first started of like, oh, what if they don't like it? Oh no, what if this is a bad idea? Whereas now I'm a lot more okay just like saying things and then being like, that was stupid, never mind.
Now, if people want to check out more of your music and see what else you have to offer, where can people go to do so?
We got Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, pretty much every platform I think my music is up on, so just search for Rain. You'll find me eventually. YouTube, I'm on there as well. You can check me out on all my socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm at rainmusic_.
Rain, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. Her new EP, False Love, is out now on all major music platforms. Rain, thanks again and congratulations on the EP.
Taking a quick look at your 7-day forecast, there is actually a heat warning that has been issued by Environment Canada coming up for today, but as we look into the weekend, that is when we will be seeing those cooler temperatures, but a heat warning is now in effect. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great night.